Yeah, how's it going everyone? My name is Earl Meister, and in this video, I will show you a Druid build that I personally think will be the best summoner style Druid in Diablo 4. Here, I will show you the skills, legendary boons, legendary aspects for gears, and stats and gems I chose for this ultra megatonic build. Now I know it's too early to tell, so take this with a grain of salt, but I love preparing and having a sense of direction when building and playing my characters in game. So after testing, this is basically I came up with. Before we start with skills, a friendly reminder that it's very important to know that you make it till the end for it all to make sense. Now, let's get it on! Let's go over the summary of how this build works. It's actually very simple to understand and play. We basically spam all of our companion skills every time they're up, and then try resetting them while bursting with big damage through the Spirit Boon, Pack Leader. The combo starts with Wolves, Raven, then Creeper. While Creeper immobilizes up, spam Landslide to do big damage and get the chance to reset the cooldowns by proccing the Pack Leader Spirit Boon. With the help of Earth and Might key passive, this should always proc. Once it proc, feel free to spam it again and repeat the process. Now, against trash mobs, you can just do Raven Creeper. And against elites, if they're by themselves, you can just do Wolves, then Creeper. It doesn't really make much sense if you do Wolves, Raven, then Creeper all the time. Usually I only do that when there's a lot of enemies piled up together and at the same time there's a big boy in the middle, then I would use Wolves as well. You also have Earthen Bulwark to break you off any CC and give you a barrier for a long time to help you survive. Alright, it's time to talk about our skills. For basic skills, we're taking Earth Spike simply because we want to trigger Earth Might key passive as much as we can. And it's a pretty decent ranged basic skill that also help you stack Fortify. Moving on to the core skills, we're maxing Landslide and Primal Mod for turret modes. This mod will help us a lot with proccing Pack Leader, and it also does big damage. For our defensive skills, we're adding 1 point to Earthen Bulwark and taking Preserving Earthen Bulwark mod. Feel free to use this to go aggressive with offense if you'd like, especially in a party. But mostly, this will be your main survival skill to get you off crowd controls with the unstoppable keyword in it. We also max out the passive Ancestral Fortitude for extra survivability. Now, for the companion skills, where this build is basically built around, we're maxing out the 3 summons. And we're also taking the brutal mods on them except the wolves. By doing this, we basically get more Fortify and crit chance to do big, brutal damage to our enemies. We're also maxing Call of the Wild passives to give all of your companions 30% extra bonus damage, for this passive gets a max value in this build. For the rat skills section, we are getting 1 point on Neurotoxin just so we can get to Envenom, in which we will max for its very important passive to boost our damage in this build. We're also maxing both Crushing Earth and Stone Guard to keep increasing our damage with Landslide. For the ultimate skills section, we're also only grabbing a couple of passive skills. Put 1 point in Defiant and max both Circle of Life and Natural Disaster. This would provide us so much heals and also big damage with the help of Exploit Glyph once you unlock your Paragon. Last but not the least, the Earth and Might key passive. Earth and Might is a secret recipe to help us spam our big damage core skill, Landslide, and to give us crits to help us proc the Spirit Boon Pack Leader. Now, let's talk about our Druid unique mechanic, Spirit Boons. First, for the Stack Boon, we will be taking Wariness. Damage reduction against elites is a really nice perk to have for extra survivability. Then, the Eagle Boon is where we spend 2 boon points. We're taking Scythe Talon and Avian Wrath to furthermore increase our crit chances by 5% and critical damage by 30%. For the Wolf Boon, we will be taking the Pack Leader. This skill is one of the reasons we're stacking critical chance and lucky hit on this build. This simply is the bread and butter of the build. Every time this procs, expect your DPS to skyrocket. It's also very nice that we can keep on immobilizing our opponents with the help of Poison Creepers. Lastly, for the Snake Boon, we're choosing Obsidian Slam. It is not a must-have, but it is nice to have that burst of damage once in a while, especially if timed right. Now, Moving on to our gears, let's talk about the legendary aspects that we will be using to continue buffing our build. For weapon, we're going to Shepherd's aspect on a two-hander. This will maximize the damage of our core skill Landslide through the help of our 9 companions. For the amulet, we're using Crashstone aspect to furthermore increase the damage of Landslide. It is important that this aspect goes in the slot for the extra 50% stat increase. For rings and gloves, we're gonna take the aspect of the Alpha, Aftershock, and Stampede. Alpha for the rabies spread with our wolves, for slow, and permaproc for envenom, which is basically additional big damage. Then Stampede, which gets max value in this build, where we get more companions and they do more damage. Lastly, Aftershock. This is a big juicer skill for Landslide and a must-have. For our boots, we're gonna use Ghostwalker's aspect. This aspect, in my opinion, is the best for boots as it almost always guarantees you to safety. Note that you need to have this on boots with multiple dash on them. Having multiple dash is pretty much an aspect of its own that also can be used for both offensive and defensive purposes. For helm, chest, and pants, we will be using aspect of might, disobedience, and mending stone. These are all best and great defensive aspect that can improve your chances of survival. Until you pick up Harley Quinn cast, of course, which is gonna be staple in most builds. When that happens, we will drop aspect of disobedience on our helm. Here are the offensive and defensive stats that we're mostly gonna look for. For gems, take Sapphire and Ruby for weapons and armors, since it has the highest value for this build for offense and defense. And use Diamond for the resistance unless doing specific content in which you want to stack a specific resistance for better survivability. Now, let's get to the leveling guide. Since this is an endgame build, let me help you out with some tips on how to level using this build. Now, leveling fast is very subjective and opinion based. Truth is, a lot of leveling paths will depend on drops that you pick up. But in general, if you want to stick to something similar, here's what I would do. First, we make sure we're playing on World Tier 1. For skills, pick up Storm Strike, then max out Pulverize. These 2 skills should be enough to go through any Thrash mobs and easily kill any elites. With these, you have Vulnerable, a lot of damage reduction to not care about dying, and lots of AoE damage with decent range. After that, it's all about getting the companion skills and maxing them all out. If possible, pick up all the offensive mods and passives. While leveling in World Tier 1, it's all about getting as much damage as you can to make all runs fast. Now, once you reach level 15, or when you get the chance, make sure to rush and do your priority quest, Spirits of the Lost Grove. After finishing this quest line, you'll unlock the Druid's class unique mechanic, Spirit Boons. Then start collecting Druidic Spirit offerings and take them back to Tuldura so you can unlock the pack leader's Spirit Boon. Once you have this boon, start stacking a lot of lucky hit and crit chance you can get to proc it and have fun leveling till you get to World Tier 3. There's only 3 aspects in this build that can't be obtained through the dungeons. Try and collect all these aspects, especially when they're close to you during your journey through the axe. Grinding Hell Tides has been a great and easy way for me to collect these aspects. I suggest you do the same, and if possible, find a party to make the event more fun and efficient. I average around 9 to 14 legendaries when doing this content, so good luck to you all, and may the RNG gods bless us you. That's it for now, folks. Now I'm sure you're also wondering why I didn't go for the Night Howlers aspect and aspect of the Wild Rage for more companion aspects. But that's because I felt like they were just too slow and weak for late game content. I did experiment with them from time to time and will continue to experiment with these aspects, but for now, the crits on this build is unmatched to keep the proccing for pack leader. But don't let this stop you from being creative and finding other variants for a Druid companion build. And most of all, if you enjoyed the video or it helped you one way or the other, hit that subscribe button and leave a like, comment for more Druid content and guides in Diablo. That's it for now, folks. Stay beastly, Druid Nation. Whoop-ah!